All right, guys, we're headed right on up this card, and it's time for the co-main event of the evening. Valentina Shevchenko taking on Manon Fiorot. Josh, I'll let you lead it off. Fiorot, the French title challenger, looking to become the first French champion in UFC history. What do you think of her?
Yeah, I just think that she gets it done. But it's interesting, Danny, you mentioned because Gipper and I had a brief talk before the show on this, and it's kind of difficult to just step in there and fade Shevchenko when you look at what a legendary and iconic career. And I was even incorrect on some of my perceptions, like of her record. I thought she had lost a couple of times. I went back and entire last 12 fights. There's a draw, but there's only one defeat in there. And maybe what stuck in my mind is I thought I had seen some decline for sure, and like her aggression level and durability and things like that. I thought, oh, maybe she's on a downhill slide. But let's face it, we just saw plenty of examples, well, such as Alex Volkanovski, where the old guard stood up, to the new challenger, and they showed that they weren't done quite yet. That could easily happen here, and out of principle, Shevchenko is an underdog. It doesn't bother me at all. Like, I can see the argument, but with Manon Fiorot, it's like, it's one of those deals. I just feel like she's run through the competition. I didn't expect her to just completely walk through Erin Blanchfield, and she looked pretty good against Rose Namajunas the prior fight. And so I'm just starting to feel like, her physicality and her overall skill set, it sort of feels like her date with Destiny is just here. I feel like she's a title winner waiting to happen. I think she gets it done. I'm not ultra confident, but that's the play I'm going to make.
There you have it, Manon Fiorot, maybe the rightful favorite in this spot against Valentina. Yeah, coming off that trilogy against Grasso, Valentina, very different stylistic matchup in this one. And honestly, I think the odds are fair. Gippers disagrees, though. What are you going with, Gippers?
I'm going with Valentina. Warren, here's another aspect to look at. I went with the value play with her decision at a plus 215. She's now down to a plus 110 on the money line, but yet her decision prop is a plus 215, but yet Fiorot's decision prop is a plus 110. Try and make that make sense to me. And I just feel like it's definitely a value play for me, but I also feel like Valentina is also a lot smarter than Blanchfield is, and she's not going to be trying body lock takedowns. Her Valentina's takedowns are strictly going to be timing, either double leg or single leg, basically football tackles in the middle of the octagon, and I think she's able to get a couple of them. And if she gets a couple of those, then I also see Manon Fiorot fading just a little, just enough in the fourth and fifth round for Valentina to steal one of the last two rounds and secure the win.
It's going to come down to it. I absolutely see a 48-47. And you think of the championship rounds, 4 or 5, she could steal it, Gippers?
Yeah. But basically what I'm banking on is her being able to win one of the first 3 rounds. If she wins the first or the second round, I'm not going to say it's in the bag, but I'll like my odds a lot,
Right,
and there's one other tricky way that you can bet this. If you are on the other side, and I know I know you're taking a big chance, but there is a sport book out there where you can still bet a future. And I will admit I did sprinkle a little bit on Manon Fiorot to be the champ on December 31st. And I put a 25% boost on it and got it at a plus 225.
Nice. That's a great hedge, right? Because she's unlikely to fight again. If she did, it would be the Valentina rematch. They'd have to book that fast. I don't know if that's going to happen right away. Valentina's getting up there, so I don't know what she'll want to do if she loses either. So I like that hedge a lot. That's an interesting way to play it. For me, man, I'm going to have to split the difference. I'm going with Manon Fiorot. I think that she can foil Valentina's style, that rangy southpaw kickboxing. Gippers mentioned it. I mean, other than Amanda Nunes, like who has, and that chancy kind of upset loss to Alexa Grasso pulling off the choke, Valentina's beat everyone. But I feel that Manon Fiorot is perhaps the best striker that she'll have faced aside from Amanda Nunes, the bantamweight GOAT. I think that her kicks from range, her side kicks, can really help her control the distance here. And Gippers, thinks maybe the style of Blanchfield's takedowns weren't effective, but perhaps it's the way the body locks versus the single legs, but man, 93% takedown defense in the UFC. I've seen her defend it all different ways, and she's good in the clinch too. I really like her short knees and Muay Thai plum game. So I like Fiorot wherever this fight goes. I do think Valentina, as smart as she is, will find ways to win rounds. But ultimately, I think Fiorot edges it out. Again, a little bit of hometown bias, perhaps, wanting to see a new champion. Fiorot's got the goods, man, and she showed me she's got 5-round cardio too, and some durability. She took a head kick from Blanchfield to end of round 5, I believe. Wobbled a little bit, kept her composure, and showed me she's ready for the tough moments. So I like Manon Fiorot in this spot, but I can't believe to see Valentina Shevchenko as an underdog. And if she wins, Gippers, you can say, haha, sportsbooks were foolish for making her a plus money play. All right, guys, it's time for the main event of the evening. We've been waiting to get here. Jack Della Maddalena challenging Belal, remember the name Muhammad, for the welterweight title. And let's start with you, Gippers. You're going with a parlay in this main event spot.
Yeah, I'm going with over 3.5 rounds and Belal on the money line, minus 117. Shop around for this because I've seen it, high as minus 130. But like I talked a little bit earlier, I really like this fight to go long in the first place. So I think Belal's going to be implementing a lot of his grappling. And I don't think he's a dead fish on the feet either. I think his striking is actually it's not that bad, and it's good enough to make him be in this fight on the feet. He just can't get blasted too many times by JDM, which I think he might once, but once he does, I think he's going to be taking this to the mat. And I mean, we saw the success that Gilbert Burns had against JDM. Granted, now we're finding out that JDM more than likely had a broken arm or whatever it was. But, I mean, Burns still ragdolled him. And I think Belal's got 5 rounds of cardio. I mean, I think he has way more cardio than JDM does. And I think he's going to be able to get takedowns on him and eke out either a 48-47 or a 49-46 decision here.
There you go. Scorecards from Gippers too. You got the exact score. You think could be 4 rounds to 1 domination. All right, Josh, I'll go to you on this one because these are kind of the talking points, right? JDM, first 5-rounder. How will he do against grapplers who he's been tested against before? Versus, will Belal get cracked with his power boxing? How do you see it playing out?
Yeah, you know what, Danny, when it comes right down to this one, I just decided to not overthink it too much. Like, we know Belal Muhammad, for whatever it's worth, is extremely unpopular with the fan base due to a combination of his fighting style and I guess a personality a lot of people don't like. I think if you can get past that bias on any level, there's no doubt he's been one of the most profitable fighters you can imagine. Let's face it, the odds makers have underrated him as well. How many times has he come in? If you had faith in him, not only against Leon Edwards, but remember he was drawn about plus 190 against Stephen Thompson and walked right through him. He was a slight underdog against Sean Brady with the one knockout he's ever had. And so I'm done doubting him from a skill perspective. He is about to turn 37, so you wonder, okay, does the age cliff thing come into play at some point? But I feel like his style, the fact that he hasn't, exactly been in a ton of wars where he took a ton of beatings, can make for a little more career longevity there. But with Maddalena, I've got to say, for whatever reason, and I'm not sure why, but I haven't been. Obviously, he's impressive. He's got the great boxing game, and he's even shown an ability to get out of some bad situations against superior grapplers or whatnot. But I also feel like if you look at his record, man, that guy's also been dancing through the raindrops on his way up. I mean, let's face it, the Basso Hafez thing was short notice, but he got by. I thought could have gone the other way. Kevin Holland split decision could have gone. And I will say it broke. I was pretty heavily invested in Gilbert Burns, who only needed to avoid being finished in the last 90 seconds to get that decision. And to his credit, JDM won. What a clutch performance when you not only have to win the round, you have to get the guy out of there to win the fight, and he did it. And then the dominoes fell for him to get this title shot. And honestly, my only concern on the Muhammad side is that he keeps saying this week, like, yeah, I don't care. I'm going to beat him at his own game. I'm going to beat him at boxing. I really hope he doesn't do that. Like, I think there'd be some real danger there. When it comes right down to it, I believe Belal will fight like he does to find a way to get a victory. I hope he's bluffing about the boxing because even though, as Gipper mentioned, he's an underrated, he can strike and he's not bad. He doesn't want to stand there to prove a point. But if he does his thing, mixes it up with the speed wrestling and the grappling and whatnot, I think he also just sort of as he usually does. Comes by with a far from impressive but convincing decision.
Yeah, like you mentioned, not too, perhaps not the most popular fighter, as some fans like to joke. Bilal, remember the decision, Muhammad, right? Not getting a lot of guys out of there. But like you said, he knows how to fight his fight. And Gippers brought up his improved striking. I agree. His hands have gotten a lot better. He's been training with a lot of those, I brought up Brasco's Mexican-style pressure boxing. Bilal has implemented the same thing, trains with similar coaches. And it's that threat of the takedown that makes your hands so much more lethal. When it's written all over your face, don't take me down, don't take me down, the hands open up and the boxing defense goes. And I think Bilal can use that. If he's going to play this game, hey, we're going to get into a boxing affair, just wait for the first moment where he has a chance to shoot. And then the boxing going to be opened way up for Bilal. So I don't want to underrate Maddalena, though. You brought up the Gilbert Burns fight. I was heavy on Burns as well, Josh, and I couldn't believe we lost that. I had him plus 3.5, too. So even if he lost the round, I was still good there. But unbelievable comeback from Maddalena with a broken arm, like Gippers alluded to. Guy's tough as nail, but Hafez testing him, Burns testing him. I think the style of Bilal's boxing plus wrestling can win out here. We'll see what he looks like in the championship rounds. Never been a full 5-rounder. So I think Bilal can use those X factors to get it done. The line's going the other way, guys. You can get Bilal minus 175. It was at minus 250. So some people respecting Jack Della, and of course, the way he mixes his punches to the head and body, maybe he can get him out of there, right, with maybe a liver shot. But I like Bilal, and I'll take him at this price tag with you guys. All three of us on Bilal. Remember the name Muhammad, who I refuse to underrate anymore. I've been guilty of that before as well. Okay, guys, before we get into our best bets and wrap this show up, you guys got to be in the SportsLine Discord. If you're not, you're missing out on a tremendous amount of value. I'm in there every single day talking about fights in the Combat channel, checking out what the other cappers have in their channels. And if you want to jump in, well, you got to be a SportsLine member. So be sure to check out that Discord if you are, discord.gg/SportsLine. Jump in there if you're a SportsLine member. If you're not, join for 60% off. That's a massive discount. All you got to do is use code WINNERS. That's code WINNERS for 60% off for your first year. You're getting access to every single analyst, their articles, their picks, the Discord, so much more. And it's the gift that keeps on giving, because I absolutely love this brand. And I think truly this is a valuable offer. So take note of it, guys, if you want to jump on the train. Let's close the show out, guys, with the best bets. Thanks to everyone that's been watching in the comments. If you guys have any questions, we'll try to answer them maybe before the show ends. But Gippers, tell me what your favorite spot is on this entire card.
Well, my favorite spot is going to be a 2-piece parlay. I'm going right back to the well of what I like to do and what I've made the most amount of money on, and that is alternate round prop overs. But this time I'm just keeping it simple and taking 2 fights to go the distance. I'm taking Bracatona fight to go the distance, and then the Valentina fight to go the distance also. And I mean, we've touched base on both of these fights. I mean, we both acknowledge that Bracatona is tough son of a bitch, and we keep on like underestimating him, even though I'm going against him this week. But he's tough, and he's another one of these ones that I've gone back to on my overs where he will fight for your money, and even if he's getting beat up in this fight, he's gonna keep on pushing forward and keep on fighting for your money. So I like that one to go to distance. And then Valentina, I mean, I think I'm not going to say this is a layup for a distance, but unless something freaky happens, which, I mean, it happened last week to me. So, I mean, it could happen again. I mean, I see this fight going to distance also. And, and that's one of the reasons why I have a tendency to do like these types of fights. And then on this one here, I wouldn't hedge. I wouldn't recommend it. But like last week, I hedged because anything can happen, and the guy got injured.
It's a cage fight. Anything can happen.
Yeah, it's a cage fight. I mean, I've lost 6 parlays this year off of injuries alone. And so that's why I have a tendency to do them this way. And but these are probably 2 of my favorite fights to go to the distance on the whole card.
Save for injury, Katona, Almacan, Shevchenko, Fiorot should go the whole way, says Gippers. Okay, favorite bet on this card for you, Josh?
Yeah, I'm just gonna keep this one simple, and it comes right down to it. I like the co-main, as we talked about. I believe Man and Fiorot. It's just, I think it's a coming of age deal. I think she's just sort of peaking at the right time. Valentina is just on the downhill slide just enough to get caught here, and I just think she gets her hand raised and becomes the champion.
There you have it. Simple enough. It's her time. And I agree with you. My favorite bet on this card, I told you I love Jasmine Jasdavicius, so I'm going to go to my spread spot. I like her -3.5. Essentially what that means, we need a 30-27 and 2 29-28s or better than that. If she finishes the fight, we don't need a spread. We win this easy. But I think she either gets Andrade out of there or ragdolls her on the ground for all 3 rounds, and we get a unanimous 30-27, maybe even a 10-8 round in there if Andrade can last. Jasmine Jasdavicius by domination. Play it in every way you